Welcome to this episode of Disrupt Education. I got Jeff Proctor here from At Properties. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
Let's jump right in, man. So what are you about? What do you do? And how did you get here?
Sure. So I'm a real estate broker throughout the city, western suburbs, North Shore. I got here, went to Indiana University. I came out of college working for telecommunications.
Yeah.
AT&T, SBC was my end-all corporate job, I guess you could say. And then I got into real estate part-time for about a year and a half doing the AT&T gig, and I started making more money doing real estate, so I left.
Right.
Came here, and I've been 14, going on 15 years total in the industry. Mm-hmm. So that's how we got here.
So what kind of things did you take from like college, high school into real estate communication? You went, a jagged path. It wasn't like, did you graduate in 4 years? Did you take some more time, less time?
Yeah, I took a fifth year. I took a fifth year out of college. I was a business major and then transferred over to the College of Art and Sciences economics. So I ended up with an economics degree out of Indiana. You have to pick up a foreign language. You have to pick up a couple other curriculums.
Yeah.
So that took me a little bit longer. But yeah, I was total all in 5 years out of college. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
What did that jump look like? So the stages to get here, did you have a gig at AT&T right out of college? How did that happen?
CDW, I was at CDW, then I went to a web conferencing company, doing sales, inside sales, and then I wanted to be in outside sales because I was too cooped up. Right. So I moved over to AT&T, became a technical sales executive over there. And I had a little bit of freedom, so I started doing this in the evenings and weekends because I just wanted to have more income. Okay. And I was really capped at the corporate level.
So when you was that all network? Like, how did you jump? I mean, you went to a kind of a gathering, I guess, if you will, or a network for sales. What do you suggest? Like, if somebody's looking at going into an industry, and let's just look like at high school or even in college, if you could go back, like what would you change to do it a little bit differently, or is there anything that you would do differently or like focus more on?
Well, it was back in, remember, Monster and Career Builder, and that's still around, but I mean, that was like your main outlet. Now you have LinkedIn, you got social media platforms, you have, relationships. I think in general, what you think is that when you meet with a corporate employer, the sky's the limit. Right. You're promised the world, and I think there's a lot of falsities that are involved in that. I was looking for a commission job so I can make, a good living. Those commission jobs weren't really realistic in terms of what they were offering. So I would say, in general, you're really going to have to study or actually get into the career in depth before you get into it, because you're always going to meet people day to day that are going to promise you the world, and you got to figure out what's false and what's not, what's BS and what's not, because I see a lot of people continually getting in, going job to job to job, looking for the golden egg, and they never find it.
Right. How would you suggest then, through either social media or whatever, where like a student who would be interested to say, and I have students myself that are interested in real estate, they're like, I want to do that, but I think they see the money side, and it's very easy to get sucked into that. Let's just take like your profession. So let's say I have a high school student who wants to be in your agency. What would you suggest? How would you suggest for them to actually dig in deep into the real estate industry?
I would say learn the real estate finance side of the business and network within the business itself. So I always said, perfect example, I had a friend of mine that moved out to Los Angeles. He wanted to get into real estate. He had at this point, he was probably like 30, 32 years old. And I said, I would go commercial. You're young enough to really get into the commercial markets. Right. It's obviously a very lucrative market, but if you do it right, you're going to do very well. But you got to put in time. It's going to be 6 months to 2 years of minimal income to get your feet wet, to get your relationships going, to get your network going, to get sales going, to get the knowledge in the business, to get the financing down. I mean, it could be a year to 2 years at least. So, and he did it, and I mean, he's just crushing it right now. So, I mean, he's doing really well. I would say, to get into my end, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's evenings and weekends, and you know, every day is a phone call. Like, there are no days off. You know, granted, you can kind of create your own schedule, which is fantastic, but if you really want to be successful, you're working every day, which is not terrible, because listen, I can get up and I can work from wherever I want, and I can plan my day accordingly to however I want. If I'm on vacation, I can coordinate that whenever I want. So, but there are no, you can't just disappear. You really can't. But I mean, I'd say real estate finance, and like actually understanding real estate. The problem that I feel in our business is that you get a lot of people that don't understand finance. They don't understand, you know, the mortgage markets. They don't understand, you know, E101, you know, the economy in general. They don't understand, you know, building codes. They don't understand building permits. They don't understand zoning. They don't understand zoning per city code versus Elmhurst code versus North Shore code. And that's a world of difference. You can't just go in and be like, this is a cute house. I mean, you got to know the ins and outs of every area, location, finance, everything. And just the hustle and patience. You have to. Yeah, it's super patient. So,
is there something like in college or in high school that you would change to actually better prepare for any industry, let alone real estate? What kind of things could you see that the system needs to do a better job on?
Well, I think that I always thought, which was uncomfortable for me, which is strange. It's like job fairs. I didn't like job fairs. I didn't think job fairs, I think they're great because you can see an exposure to a business, but I think everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid there a little bit. So I would say if you could get, you know, individuals that are focused in on, let's say, a marketing, right? I was in an apparel merchandising club in college, right? But I thought I wanted to be in the clothing side of the business, the retail side of the business. I didn't want to do that once I figured that out. But being able to shadow somebody and actually walk through and getting like the day-to-day of the true job, that would help. I mean, CDW is a great company, but that's why I left. I didn't want to dial 70 calls a day. And I wasn't really told I'd be dialing 70 to 100.
And you didn't know that going in.
They wanted you to dial 70, and then all of a sudden they said, but you should be dialing 120. And then I'm like, well, what do you want me to do here? So
seeing it before you go in.
Seeing it before you go into it, 100%. Walking in and actually sitting there. Because what do? You meet a job fair, they look at your resume, they look at your grades, and then they give you the job. You go through training, and then you sit down and you really don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Do you think grades matter?
I think if you're headed towards a very elite finance career, yes. If you're a entrepreneurial person, yes, but if you can learn the market you're in, no. I mean, I would say that I was, you know, freshman year, had a lot of fun. Sophomore year did really well, and I stayed consistent after that, but it wasn't my bright spot was my grades. So no, I mean, it's what you make it. It's who you meet, how you make it. If you work hard, you should be pretty successful.
Awesome. We appreciate you being here. Actually hosting us in this awesome office in Chicago.
It's great. I thought this was a good spot for it.
It looks beautiful. So
thanks.
All right, guys. Till next time, keep disrupting. We'll talk to you later.